With this video, I want to help you to improve IT performance management in your organization. But I have decided to approach these following COBIT 5 enablers. And those of you who have done COBIT 5, you will know that it has 7 enablers. So when we talk about enablers, we are talking about those things that will help you to realize IT governance or to realize successful IT performance management. So, but in this case, I've decided to advise you to consider principles in your organization or principles in your department. I request you to look at principles that are guiding the behavior of employees in your department. The other principle that you may consider to have might be to say, yes, we need to work as a team. In other words, teamwork will be one of your principles. But once you have all these principles, I'm telling you, those principles will help you to achieve your departmental objectives. Remember, it is important that you improve the way you relate with people. This means that you might even say that we need to be transparent every day in whatever we do. Hence, transparency can be one of the principles that you can implement. But the point that I want to drive home here is that you must have principles. But after having those principles, you also have to have policies that will help you to guide the behavior of IT users and also the behavior of those who are implementing IT governance. For an example, you might establish or you might come up with a policy, and this one is very important, that deals with IT security in the organization. It is important that you have policies that will guide the behavior of IT users. The other thing that might help you to improve performance of your IT department is to follow different frameworks or best practices. But here, instead of you inventing a wheel, you will be using methodologies or strategies or structures that has been tested and proved and found that they can help you to improve performance in your organization. So it is important that you consider using frameworks and different standards that will help you greatly in terms of improving your performance. So with this one, I have advised you to look at the principles. Yes. I have advised you again to look at the policies and frameworks. So it is important that you look at this holistically. But the other thing that will help you again to improve performance in your organization is to look at your IT processes. IT processes. So in this case, I'm telling you, once your IT processes are at optimal level, definitely there is no way where your performance as an IT department cannot be excellent. So that is why I'm saying you must look at processes. The question that you must ask yourself is, do you have well-defined processes in your organization or in your IT department? If there is none, definitely you have to do something about it. If ever you have processes in place, at which level are they? Are those processes generating the required results? Or are they generating the required solutions? So that is something that you must do. You must look at your processes holistically. Are they structured? Are people aware of those processes? Definitely, you need to make sure that people are aware, or all the stakeholders that have something to do with those processes are aware of their existence. So, are you able to manage those processes? Are they managed? In other words, are you able to monitor the outcome of those processes? You need to be able to monitor the outcome of those processes. But in short, the point that we want to drive home is that you need to have efficient and effective IT processes in place. And those processes must be aligned with organizational processes. Remember, whatever you do, don't forget that you are not on your own. You are existing because there is this organization that you have to support. So hence, even your IT processes must be aligned with organizational processes. Whatever process that is in place must be there to help the organization attain its organizational objectives. It is important that you also look at IT processes. The other thing that I want you to look at, you must look at organizational structures. And in this case, because you are an IT department, definitely you have to respond to the decisions of different organizational structures as far as the implementation of IT governance is concerned. Remember, you will be working with different committees. The main committee, which is the one which is accountable for IT governance, is the board of directors. The committee, which is referred to as the board, or the committee, which is referred to as the council. So that one, you need to work with it, whether you like it or not. So at the end of the day, you also have to make sure that there is IT steering committee in place. And the question here is, you must know the role and responsibilities of each and every committee that you work with. For example, if ever you want, say for example, an approval of something, definitely you need to submit that something to the relevant committee. And again, you must know that this committee that you are submitting this particular report has also the powers to approve whatever you have put in that particular report. But the point that I want to drive home is you must ensure that there are relevant structures that have a role to play in the IT governance. So now the question is, are you aware of the people who are responsible for performing certain activities that has something to do with IT governance in your organization? Which structures are they? You must also be aware of the RASI chart. And in this case, with the RASI chart, you have to look at the R. When you are submitting something to this particular committee, what is your intention? Remember, you are responsible for submitting certain reports. You are responsible for responding towards certain issues. But at the end of the day, you must know the person who is accountable for whatever you are doing. You must know the issues that you are accountable for. You must know that at the end of the day, after accountability, indeed, there can be somebody who should get information regarding whatever you were doing, meaning that you have to submit your report to this particular structure just for them to get information in that particular regard. There are certain things that you cannot do without consulting a particular structure. But basically, once you understand the RASI chart, definitely you will be able to work effectively and efficiently. Remember, the idea is to improve IT performance management in your organization. IT performance management is not a one-man show. It's not your show alone. It's not you are at the center, it's true, but there are a lot of people who have a role to play in helping you to perform excellently in whatever you are doing in your IT department. Hence, it is important that you consider organizational structure. There is no harm in reviewing all those organizational structures. There is no harm in reviewing your role as an IT in those organizational structures. There is no harm again in reviewing what your responsibilities are as far as IT governance in your organization is concerned. But the point is, you must be very clear about the roles and responsibilities of each and every structure in your organization. Which structures have a role to approve whatever you want to submit? This is one of the questions which is very important that you must consider. Once you look at that, I'm telling you, the performance of your organization will be excellent. Look at the organizational structure. It's then that you will excel. Your IT steering committee, how is it composed? Remember, this is a business community. Who is chairing that structure? Remember, sometimes because you are an IT director, you cannot look at whatever you are doing in an objective manner. And hence, in order for you to be objective, you must allow somebody to say something about what you are doing, and hence the reasons behind these structures. When you have an IT steering committee, which is a business committee or a committee composed of the business will be talking to you. They will be sharing with you what they expect of you. And once you get what they want from you, is then that you are able to deliver what they want. And that is quality. Remember, when we talk about quality, we are talking about conformance to the user's requirement, or we are talking about fit for purpose. Now, in this case, you will be able to deliver service which is fit for the business purpose when you have heard from the business itself. So it is important that you look at the organizational structure, or you consider organizational structures in your organization. Once you have those in place, you will be fine. So that is another aspect that I thought you should look at. Remember, the idea is to improve IT performance management in your organization. If you want to excel in that regard, review your organizational structures. Make sure that they are effective. You know, sometimes people will be saying that we have IT steering committee, but you look at what they do or what that IT steering committee does, you realize that, in fact, just to start with, it doesn't even meet. But the point is, when the IT steering committee is effective, it will be asking you questions that will help you to perform excellently. It will be sharing with you information from the business side that will help you to review some of the processes. But the point is, they are the ones to tell you that this is actually what we want. But in short, with this one, I'm saying just review your organizational structures. The other aspect that you need to look at is culture, ethics, and behavior. Remember, I told you that I'm following COBIT 5 enablers: culture, ethics, and behavior. So now you can have all the resources in your organization, but if you don't change the mindset of the people you are working with, I'm telling you, you are not doing anything. Remember, you can have very powerful computers. You can have very powerful technology in place. But if ever the mindset of the people who are supposed to utilize those resources is not up to scratch, I'm telling you, you will not go anywhere. Culture is very important. The attitude of IT users towards the technology that you are implementing is very important. I mean, somebody will be saying that I'm comfortable when I'm using my old technology, when I'm using papers, when I'm using my diary. But I'm telling you, you need to train them. You need to help them to adopt the new culture of paperless. You need to help them to make sure that they, instead of carrying books when going to meetings, they carry smart devices like laptops. But the point that I want to drive home is that culture is very important. The way your IT team respond to user issues is very important. It has a contributing factor towards IT performance management. In fact, charity must start at home. Charity must begin at home. To be effective, IT personnel must be seen being ahead of others. If ever you are saying that this is actually the route to take, IT management must be seen addressing users' issues in time. In other words, the turnaround time to resolve issues in this case is a concern. So, but the culture and attitude and ethics of the people whom you are working with is very important. Do they respect people that they are working with? I mean, it is very much important. Remember, if ever the behavior is somehow, you find that it also compromises the quality of relationships within the team. You find that users do not respect one another, IT team will not be respecting one another also. They will also go to an extent of not respecting their superiors. But the most important thing that I want to drive home is that your team mindset must be that of excelling in the organization. Culture, ethics, and behavior is very important. So that is why we are saying that we need people who are smart in whatever they do. But at the same time, their behavior must also comply with the organizational objectives. Whatever we do or whatever you do must be aligned with the business. What does the business want from you? Yes, that answer will help you to mold your behavior in such a way that it looks at other users or other people in a way that shows that you respect them. Respect the people that you work with, respect the IT team, respect the IT users in your organization, respect all the stakeholders. The way you behave, I'm telling you, going to a meeting is very important. But again, when you are in that meeting, it shows that you respect the meeting by the way you respond to the questions that are raised. Behavior matters. When the meeting starts at 9, you must be there at least 15 minutes before time. Because in a way, if ever you arrive late every time, it's another culture that compromises the performance of the IT governance in your organization. Make sure that you throw away all those kind of behaviors that have negative impact on the overall IT objectives or IT governance of the organization. Behavior matters. Behavior matters because when it is not good or when it is not aligned with whatever the organization requires, it ends up destroying the whole organization. Behavior matters. Culture, ethics, and behavior have positive or negative contribution in the IT performance of the organization. Make sure that you manage it. Policies will help you to achieve that. Procedures will help you to achieve that. And departmental meetings will also help you to address some of the issues. But when now we talk about behavior, now I'm thinking of that principle where we are saying you must praise in public, but rebuke in private. So because again, the way you rebuke that unwanted behavior from employees also have impact in the performance of the IT management. But in short, let me tell you that if you improve ethics, if you improve culture, if you improve employees' behavior and users' behavior, you will definitely excel in the management of IT performance in your organization. You know, the other thing that you must look at is information. And in this case, I'm talking about information as an enabler, as something that will help you to improve IT performance in your organization. Now the question is, what information am I talking about? And in this case, I will just say we are talking about any relevant information that will help you to excel in your organization, to excel as an IT department, to excel as an IT performance, as an IT personnel. So in this case, say for example, you are implementing a particular IT project. Definitely, you need to collect relevant information that will help you to excel in the implementation of that particular project. Information matters. IT users must be given information that will help them to utilize whatever system which has been implemented. I'm telling you, it is of no use for you to implement technology and never train your users. When you are training your users, you are giving them information that will help them to utilize the system. You need information as a decision maker that will help you to make proper decisions, to make decisions that will help your IT perform in a better way. So basically, information is very important. I mean, when you go to a particular meeting, you must go to this particular meeting with information. Information matters. You know, sometimes when you are working as a team, you need to share information that will help you to excel as a team. And information is one of those important things that you must share because it contributes positively towards you realizing your objective as an IT department in that particular organization. So information is very important. Whatever information that you think will help your team to succeed, please make sure that you share that information. Some organizations have implemented SharePoint system. I'm just giving this one as an example. But the point that I want to drive home is that you must have ways and mechanisms to share valuable information, crucial information that will help to take your IT department to the next level. Information is very important. Have information sharing meetings where you sit down and talk about information. Suppose you have been attending a workshop. When you come back, just share that information. Suppose you have been attending this conference. When you come back, share whatever information that you got from that particular conference. Information matters. When you share information, I'm telling you, whatever I'm doing now, I'm trying to share this information so that you can also get whatever I know. But the point that I want to drive home is that you must share information, relevant information. I mean, again, you must have a structured way of sharing information. The other thing is, when you have relevant information, that information will help you to succeed. Remember, information must be accurate, information must be complete. So those are the characteristics of information that will help you to realize your vision as an IT department. But the point that I want to drive home is that you must have information that will help you to realize success in your organization. Information that will help you to succeed as an IT department. Information that will help you to implement whatever project in a successful manner. Information is important. So basically, the other thing that you must look at in order to improve IT performance in your organization, you must look at services. You must look at infrastructure and applications. So, but in short, the point that I want to drive home is, in this regard, is that you must make sure that the services, the quality of service that you are providing to your users, is excellent. I'm telling you, you must also make sure that the infrastructure which is there is reliable. If, say, for example, you are using a computer and you realize that every 2 hours that computer is giving you problems, it becomes an issue. The same applies with your data center. So basically, it must be reliable. I mean, if every 2 hours it's down, indeed, it frustrates the implementation of IT governance in the organization. Remember, at the end of the day, there are systems like ERP or enterprise resource planning systems that are there. And these systems are the ones that are running the organization. And if the infrastructure is not up to scratch, it becomes a problem. So, but if you want to improve performance of your organization, you must make sure that your infrastructure is very reliable. It's reliable to an extent that it doesn't give users any trouble. I mean, I will give you a very simple example. Some of the users, for them to work, they depend on internet. But if the internet is always down, it becomes an issue. Some of the users, they depend on servers that has been hosted in the cloud. And I'm telling you, if ever the communication between their workstations and the cloud server is not there, it becomes an issue. So that is why I'm saying, if you improve the quality of the infrastructure that is in place, indeed, you also improve the IT performance. So the other thing that you need to consider is to continuously review the applications that are being utilized in the organization. How often are they purged? Because if ever you are running these particular applications and you realize that from time to time they are giving problems, they are being attacked by viruses, it becomes a problem, it becomes an issue. But if ever you realize that there are such issues that are happening, maybe you can consider upgrading those applications, or you can consider replacing such applications. But in short, you need to continuously look at your applications. For an example, I will give you this simple example. You might be having this particular ERP, which is not helping your users in any way. When they require this report, it doesn't give them the report that they requested. But the point that I want to drive home is that that application, it's either you need to upgrade it or you need to replace it. From time to time, you must review the quality of your infrastructure. I'm using the word quality because quality is conformance to the user's requirement. If that infrastructure is not conforming to what you require, definitely it is a problem. It doesn't give you the quality you require. So, but if ever you want to improve performance of IT governance in your organization, it becomes an issue. And you must look at your infrastructure. If you don't want to improve this, I'm telling you, after some years, you will remain alone. Because suppliers, there are times where they say, now we are moving to this other application. And once they do that, they will tell you that we'll be supporting you for the next coming 3 years. And after 3 years, we will no longer be supporting this particular product. And it becomes a problem. And that is how IT is, unfortunately. So the point that I want to drive home is that if ever you want to improve IT performance in your organization, you must consider improving the quality of your infrastructure. You must consider improving your applications. You must consider improving your services, because without those, it becomes a problem. And from time to time, my advice is continue to monitor your infrastructure, continue to monitor your applications. So in other institutions, you find that they have a register containing applications that they have. And once you have this register, from time to time, you will have to make sure that those applications are renewed in terms of licensing. Once you excel in that regard, I'm telling you, you will the IT performance or the performance of your IT department will be up to scratch. And when it is up to scratch, I'm telling you, your executives will be smiling. Once it is up to scratch, I'm telling you, the board will be smiling. But without you looking at this holistically, it becomes a problem. But when you look at this holistically, it becomes very easy. So the point that I want to drive home now is continue to review the services. Continue to review and improve the services that you are providing to your users. Review the infrastructure and improve it. Review the applications and improve when necessary. But in short, I thought you should also consider this because it is important for you to excel at the end of the day. Now I want to talk to you or to advise you to look at people, skills, and competencies. Because this is another enabler that will help you to realize success as an IT department in terms of performance management. So now the question is, indeed, you want to perform, you want to excel, you want to make your executives happy, but do you have those skills that are required in order to attain whatever you're doing? And if indeed the answer is no, I'm telling you, you need to start reviewing them. You need to start looking at the skills that you have. Just come up with a skills audit where at the end of the day you will say, here are the skills gap and I need to address this. Because for you to perform and excel, you need people with relevant skills. And without those people, I'm telling you, certain departments might be having millions of people as an IT department. But I'm telling you, the question is, do those people have those competencies that will help you to perform up to scratch? And if the answer is no, I'm telling you, it becomes a problem. But if the answer is yes, indeed, you will make it. So the point that I want to drive home is that continue to equip your people with relevant skills, with skills that will help you to attain your departmental objectives. And at the end of the day, remember, all these things must be aligned with the strategy of the organization. Yes, your department is supporting this business, but for you to support this business, you need to have skills. You need to have the capacity to support the business. The question again is, do you have skills in the department? Do you have people with skills in the department? Do you have people with those competencies? People who can say, yes, we are ready to implement this project. People who can say, we are ready to make this decision. We know we will be able to implement this decision. So, because people are having technologies, and without these skills, I'm telling you, technologies or whatever investment that you procure will be underutilized. And in other cases, indeed, it will be obsolete without being utilized at all. And hence, it becomes a problem to the sponsor. And the sponsor this time is the executive management. Now, when you have skills in the organization, you are able to be effective. You are able to be efficient. So at the end of the day, you make your customers happy. So, and again, it reduces the turnaround time to resolve issues. But one way to do that is also to help. One way to do that also is to make sure that you employ things like job rotation. So when you employ job rotation, when you move your people or your staff from one section to the other, at the end of the day, they are gaining new skills. And when they gain new skills, they become more competent. And the other way, again, is to ensure that you implement things that we call job enrichment. When you add more work or more responsibilities in their job profile or in their job description, they end up gaining new skills. But the point is, at the end of the day, you want your people to be competent. You want them to compete. You want them to be excellent in terms of whatever they do. Yes, it's true. Job rotation and job enrichment will help you to address certain things as far as skills and competency of your employees is concerned. But let me conclude this by telling you that IT performance management, it must be looked at holistically. You must continue to motivate your employees so that they continue to excel. You must look at the infrastructure. You must look at the policies. You must look at culture itself. You must look at different structures, organizational structures. But the point is, you must look at this thing holistically. It's not just one thing. And the other thing that I should tell you is that this is not just a once-off event and say, yes, I've made it. You need to do that continuously. And again, the other thing, it requires wisdom, because you will remember, it is not only knowledge alone, or it is not knowledge alone that will help you to succeed. Even the wisdom that you have, wisdom to deal with users, wisdom to deal with clients, wisdom to deal with suppliers, wisdom to deal with executive management, wisdom to deal with whosoever. So basically, you need all these things. It's holistical. You need to look at this thing holistically. And once you look at this thing holistically, I'm telling you, you will succeed and excel. I thank you.